Hey guys, welcome back to Von Kettle Kitchen, and welcome if this is your first time. I am a hot mess today. It is all about cleaning and getting stuff decorated for Christmas, and I'm using some leftover cranberries, whole cranberries that I had. So I didn't video because it's very tedious. So this is 16 ounces, I just measured it out, of sliced in half whole cranberries. I am going to zest one orange into that, but I am making, I should probably let you know, a cranberry orange coffee cake. So let's get everything started. Oven is already preheated to 350. So in here I have 1.5 cups of regular sugar and 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. I have 3 eggs. You want to make sure that they are room temperature. So I'm going to get this going. I'm just going to put the 3 eggs in, and you're going to let that mix for about 5 to 7 minutes. It's actually going to it's going to kind of like thicken and almost double in size. So that's that. These are my cranberries. And if you want to get extra juice, because we're going to be using the juice from this orange for a glaze, so you can give it a nice roll on the counter. If it's firm, you can pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and that will help get it nice and juicy. So we're going to zest the entire orange, and you want to make sure that you don't get the pith, which is the white. You just want the orange part of it. That's what gives it the flavor. Oh, it already smells so nice. I love oranges. You could definitely do, this would be great with blueberries and a lemon. You do like a blueberry lemon coffee cake. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit so it can get thick. I know I kind of gotta talk over it a little bit. So let me get this zested. And never do a recipe that you're not going to use the full ingredient for. Because just zesting this, and then if you're not going to eat it, or you're not going to use it, that's kind of pointless. You don't want to be wasteful. All right, I'll put that aside. Run your finger if you have one like I do. Oh, the goodies out. All right, so I'm gonna let this mix for a few more minutes. Now that this has thickened and doubled in size, while that was going, after I had zested the orange, I had gotten the crumb topping ready, which I put in this bowl. So I have 3/4 cup of flour. I have 6 packed tablespoons of light brown sugar, and this is 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter, so it's nice and soft. I have the fork in there, so I'm going to get all that up in a minute. So I'm gonna put this back aside. We are, grab my measuring. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 3/4 cup of softened room temperature butter. So that is 1.5 sticks of butter. You wanna make sure it is unsalted. If you need to quickly soften it, if you wanna bake right away, you can boil some hot water in a tea kettle, and you can pour it into a glass, let it sit in the glass for about a minute, and then empty out the water, stand the stick of butter up, put the glass over it, and it will soften it in about a minute. So let's get this mixed up together. Now that that is all mixed up, we're going to put 2 cups of flour. Don't mind me, small kitchen, so gotta go to the other side. So there's 1. And there is 2. So you want to do this slowly so you don't get a cloud. You just want to mix this until it's nice and incorporated. And this is just the cake part of it itself. The crumb topping is a little different. All right. Let's get that paddle nice and clean. Baking can be very tedious, but it's very rewarding at the end. Some people have the patience for it, some people don't. I used to not like to bake at all, and as I've gotten older and in my own home, I do love to bake. All right, put that aside. Take that out. Let's put this guy on its side for a minute. So the cranberries that I sliced in half and the orange zest, we're going to fold those in because you don't want to mix them because you don't want to break the berries. Okay, so let's give this a mix. Let me move you in so you can see how pretty it is. The berries definitely add a nice contrast to it. All right. Actually, let me see if I can switch you guys. There we go. All right, so let's fold this in. So beforehand, I greased a 13 by 9 cake dish. I just use spray. You can definitely use butter. All right. So let me grab a cake pan. Take that out of the way. Ah! It's the beauty of home cooking. You have epic fails. All right. So let's get that in. So once again, the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I can smell the orange. Cranberries and orange just remind me of fall. Okay, let me put this aside. So we want to make sure this is a nice even layer. Excuse me. Let me use my hands, which are the best tools in a kitchen. All right. Let me just give my hands a rinse. Excuse me. All right, so I'm put this back aside. So this is that crumb mixture I was talking to you about. If you have a pastry cutter, this would be perfect for that. If not, just a regular kitchen fork is fine. You just want to make sure it all looks like, I don't know, like a extra grainy beach sand, little pebbles. because that butter is going to give it such a nice flavor. You want to make sure all the sugar, butter, and flour is combined. This one is just a little time consuming, but well worth the end result. When you also cut all those cranberries in half, you want to make sure that you have a super sharp knife. You don't want a dull one. They're round, they roll, you could possibly cut yourself. So if you have a knife sharpener, sharpen them up. I would say use a paring knife would be great. All right, so this is kind of like a sand consistency, which is what I want. Let's bring this back over. And you just want to do even layer all over the top. And this is kind of what makes it like the coffee cake topping. Make sure you get the edges. Dump the rest in. I'll just use my hands. And make sure all the cake is covered. All right, so we're gonna pop this in a 350-degree oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. And you wanna just test the center with a cake tester or a toothpick to make sure it comes out clean. So I'll see you in about 45 minutes. So I have already checked the coffee cake. It is golden brown. And I checked the center and it is clean. Now you want this to completely cool before you cut into this. Also, you want to make sure that this is completely cooled before you add the glaze. So, as you see, it is nice and clean. So now this is just going to cool. Let me bring you so you can see how nice and golden brown it is. It smells like heaven in here. So, let this cool and I'm going to show you how to make the glaze next. So now that this is nice and cool, I'm going to make the glaze for it. So it's gonna be 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I have the juice from the orange. And that gave us about 9 teaspoons, so I wanna use about half of this. We're gonna stir it together. Ooh, I always make a mess. All right, so that's still a little too thick. A couple more teaspoons. You don't want to be too much in there because you can't take it away. But the nice thing about the glaze is it's very forgiving. If it gets too runny, you add more powdered sugar. If it's too thick, you add more juice. I want it a little thinner. Little bit more. So typically a juice from 1 medium orange will do the trick. So keep this there and then you just drizzle. And that's why I kept the whisk. Let's give her a taste. That is delicious. All right, so this is ready to cut.